Yeah, okay, so when I first moved up here, um, and then for I think 7, 8 years after that, I had a doctor who I swear could not remember that I had cerebral palsy, even though I saw him regularly for that time. Like every time I'd go to his office, he'd be like, "Can you stand on your toes?" No. Why not? Look at your file. Look at it. Read words. It says I have cerebral palsy. And then, like after I was finally able to switch different doctors, I went to a doctor that knew, like he'd heard of it, but he didn't really know a lot about cerebral palsy, which he flat out told me in the beginning when I was like, like there are certain things I can't do. He's like, well, why? Because I have cerebral palsy, spastic paraplegic, and he goes, I'm sorry, please don't take offense to this, but can you explain to me what that is? And like, I got so happy because I was like, okay, you're actually going to listen to me and try to learn like about your patient. Cool. Because if you don't know what this is, then at least I can explain what it's like for me. And it was a nice experience compared to the doctor that was always like, stand on your toes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's better to
But
have someone that's willing to learn it rather than someone who knows what it is
yeah,
yet ignores it, like, or forgets it. Like, you see me all the time, you know. Like, come on.
yeah, like it, so funny, not funny, but I actually knew the original doctor's daughter from high school, and didn't realize it. So like I was talking to her about him, and I told her like it
Oh.
upsets me that this is a thing. And she goes, "That's my dad, and he has a lot of patience and this and that and blah blah blah." I'm like, "Are you justifying the fact that your father can't look at a file? Because like that's what I just told you. He doesn't look at a file."
Yeah, because I mean, you'd expect that
And
before
again,
the doctor walks in, like, hey, let me glance at these papers, see what I'm working with.
right, or like even if he couldn't like do it before he walked in, he could do it like as he sits down. Like, let me take a look at this, see what we're working with, like, because usually I was running tests or whatever. Um, I had, I always had something going on, but we never knew what it was until now. Yay!
Well, I'm glad you at
So,
least figured it
like,
out.
it, me too, because I don't think I could have handled it if we hadn't. Um, but it's it's frustrating to have to deal with even medical professionals that don't take you seriously, and you're just kind of like, why is this a thing? Why are you in this field if you can't pay attention? Like, what are you doing? And
Yeah.
I don't know. I I get frustrated a lot, but
Oh, I feel
I
yeah.
get frustrated a lot by it actually even on occasion gets to the point where I wish I wasn't disabled, just because I want to be able to do certain things, or I want to be able to not be afraid to do certain things. But like, I logic myself out of it by going, well, if you weren't, you wouldn't be the person you are today. You wouldn't be where you are. You wouldn't be this and that. And like, there's a lot of things that I have to think about, basically. Um,
Yeah.
it's it's interesting.
I kind of that there is a struggle of like, what would I be without CP? And like, it's really hard to
Yeah,
picture. Like, I wish I could do this, but it's like, do I really need to learn how to skateboard? Probably not. But it'd be nice to be able to do it. But I don't
yeah.
know. There's a lot of self talk and like, no, it
Oh
is.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, but I think everybody has self-talk in their own things, but it's kind of nice to have that connection too, just to go, it just makes you more human because you're like, this kind of sucks today. But
Yeah.
that was kind of where I was for over the weekend, really, because everything that happened at work happened on Friday.
Oh.
So, like, I was dealing with that and just, like, the complete deterioration of, like, oh, I really love this job. I still love the kids, don't get me wrong, but, like, actually working there now, I feel like if I get called into work again, I'm going to be like, sure, but I'm not going to be happy about it. Like,
Right. It kind of puts a bitter taste in your mouth.
yeah. I was going to say something along those lines, so glad you said it. At least you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
like I don't want to harp on it. I don't like harping on it, but like it's so fresh in my head that happened, and that was something that I was afraid of for so long before I even got my first job. Like at 16, I wanted to be able to work and like do something legitimate, but my mom was kind of worried about me working in fast food places because if I slipped on grease or oil or whatever, because and
Yeah.
then I was really worried about that, and then I didn't really go into it. So like I could have got a starter job back then, but then it went from that to, well, what if they don't want me because I'm disabled and I can't do this or I can't do that and da.
Yeah.
So, you know, you kind of get into that.
Do you ever feel like...
of self-talk that starts...
Oh, sorry. It just kind of goes along with... kind of made me think. Do you ever feel stunted? Because sometimes I feel like stunted, not intellectually, but just like in life experience ways. Like I'm just doing things a little bit later than everyone else, and they're still getting done. But it's like, yeah, I didn't have my first job at 16. My first job was at 25, like, or 20, 24. It's just...
It's fun that you bring that up because, like, yeah, I really do feel stunted, and in my case, it is both, well, not completely mentally, but like socially.
Yeah.
Socially, because I didn't have a lot of friends to go hang out with because I couldn't drive when I was 16, like everybody else could. Well, most everybody else could. So it was me relying on other people to come get me, and they were just kind of like, oh, I can't hang out because I'm going to have to go get you. And, or at least that's what it felt like, you know.
Right.
But
so then you talk yourself out to not asking. Like, yeah. They don't want to come get me, I just won't ask. Because that's what I did. I mean, I'm working on my permit now. Well, I have my permit now. I'm working to get my license. But that's how it was always like, I don't want people to feel like they have to work extra hard to hang out with me. So I would just not ask.
Yeah. Gotta those hoops you gotta jump through to get your permit, no doubt.
Yeah.
I have to use hand controls. I don't know about you, but...
Well, no, as far as I went to the DMV, they didn't say anything, so I just didn't. I've been practicing without hand controls, and I'm so I don't know if this is going to get me in trouble, but they didn't say anything, they didn't ask, so I've just been practicing, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my ankles don't quite work well, but I went through DRS to get my evaluation. While I was going to Heartland, I talked to them about doing that so I could get myself to school and whatever. So they sent me up to Wheaton, up near Chicago.
Marion Joy.
An evaluation, and yeah.
Oh, I hate that place. Sorry. Only because I had an evaluation in 2010 and it went horribly. So it's just like a very traumatic place for me. So that's why it's taken me so long to even want to drive, because I thought I was going to take driver's ed in high school, and everyone kept telling me like, Kyle, you'll be fine. You'll pass, and then I didn't pass the evaluation. So it was a very traumatizing
Yeah.
experience.
So when you went to get your evaluation done, I take it they said you didn't have to use hand controls.
Well, they did.
Because
I practiced. See, we got up there and they're like, okay, you're going to use hand controls. And I'm like, okay. And then we drove for like 20 minutes. They said I wasn't very good at it and told me to practice volleyball and come back. Um, and well, they said I was a danger to the road, a bunch of stuff. So it took me a long time to, and then I just went to
yeah, with
I took an adult driver's ed course online because when I've had my permit 3 times now since then, and I had to do a test and everything. I mean, I'll still have to take the driver's course test when I go, and maybe they'll be like, "You're not safe to drive," and I'll have to like go with hand controls. I'm not sure, but now that I'm actually really trying to get my license, the other 2 times I
yeah,
was too scared. So
I yeah. Okay, so like when I went to get my evaluation done, I flat out told the woman that was going to go driving with us that I was terrified. She goes, "Okay, well, what we're going to do is you're going to try to use the pedals first. Excuse me. And if you can't do that, then you're going to use hand controls." And I was like, "Okay, already kind of think I'm not going to be able to use the pedals, but we'll try it because I've driven a golf cart before. So I know it's different, but
yeah. Well, I didn't even get that
we got in the
option.
car.
They were just like hand controls. It
Yeah,
is.
like I'm kind of confused by that. Because they gave me the option. That's the point. You're supposed to get the option to see if you can.
No,
You
she
couldn't.
had me. She had me bend my leg, and I don't know. And she's like, "Nope, you need hand controls." And I was like, "Okay." And like, I think that's what got me was because I just went in thinking like, "Okay, I'll use, um, you know, like normal car pedal on the floor," and so it threw me off when they're like, okay, use hand controls. And then it felt like she rushed me through it and was like, well, you're not safe. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, thanks. So, I mean, cause they wrote,
I mean,
yeah, go ahead. I could like rant about this whole experience. I'm glad yours
yeah,
is
like
positive though.
I. It kind of makes me wonder. Like, it couldn't have been the same person. I know that much. Kind of makes me wonder, like, what her test was because, like, I I mean, at that point, I knew like it kind of depended on the situation. If my foot is down on something, like if my foot is on the floor, I can lift it up and bend it better than I can if it's in the air.
Uh huh.
So it kind of makes me want to know like what the situation was a little more than like where you are with that, just because it doesn't seem to make sense that she'd be like bend your leg and then nah, you can't.
Yeah, like she was like,
It doesn't make sense. Anyway,
lift your leg up. Yeah, it was, and this happened in 2010, so over like 9 years ago, going on 10 years. So it could be
yeah,
a lot different, but it was so traumatic because I literally drove for like
mm-hmm.
not even about 20 minutes. I was supposed to get like 40 minutes, and she was like, "Okay, we're done." And I never got to actually like control the gas and brake. I was just steering that whole 20 minutes,
Yeah,
and uh, I don't know. Those places are good. I just had a very traumatic experience. So
yeah. No, it. I can imagine it would be just because things like that are because
yeah,
being told you can't do something based on so little is.
yeah. I just felt like I wasn't prop. Like I
I'm trying
didn't.
to control my language.
Yeah, it's okay. You can
um,
cuss a little bit. Yeah, it was tough though. So I'm not opposed to doing it again. I mean, I'm very hesitant just because. like after that experience, I just felt like, well, I'm not a safe driver. Like I'll never be able to drive. It took a lot to like talk myself out of that to even like want to attempt to drive. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I considering the fact that it probably has changed in that amount of time, I would say if you feel like you need to, definitely go back. But if you feel like you're fine without hand controls, and doing what you're already doing, then don't. But if it helps you get that negative experience out of your head, then maybe you should. So like my experience with mine was both negative and positive. It was negative only because of myself, though, not at all because of the person I was working with. I told her that I was already terrified to be doing the examination in the first place because I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to drive at all. So knowing this, she told me that we were going to try it, see how it worked. She let me push the gas pedal, and it turns out that I cannot control the amount of pressure I'm putting on anything with my feet.
mm.
Which is to say that I unintentionally have a lead foot. So, acceleration happens fast.
Yeah.
So, like, fortunately we were in the park, so, like, it didn't go anywhere, but definitely the car was very upset with me because I burned a little rubber in the parking space. And she goes, you probably want hand controls. I'm like, I definitely want hand controls. Because I was sitting there wide-eyed, like, please give me the hand controls. I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. And I told her at the beginning that humor would help me through the whole process. And then
Well, I think my
and then I drove 10 for the I drove 10 miles an hour for most of the exam.
oh. See, but that probably would have been
She
me.
goes, yeah, like, she, in the last 5 minutes of the thing, she goes, I know we almost backed into a tree, even though we really didn't, because we were at least 3 feet away from it. But I'm gonna need you to go 20 for the last 5 minutes of this so I can really see how you're doing. And she said it in like a mock patronizing way, so I knew she was just giving me crap.
Right.
But also trying to like ease my mind about it because I told her that humor was going to be the best way to go. So I did that, and the whole time I'm sitting behind the wheel going, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. But it worked out, and then I parked on the diagonal lines, but I made it perfectly straight in the box. So
nice.
Yeah, she got out of the car, started laughing. My mom got out of the car, looked down, started laughing. I got out of the car, and then I fell because I was laughing. Because we all were like very quickly aware of where exactly I had parked. And then she left it for the next pair of people that went to use the car. I'm going to leave it here for the next people. Yay.
Oh, that's hysterical.
And then I took a picture and posted it on Facebook because there's some. But, like, there was a lot of humor in that situation for me. So, maybe you'd have a better experience at this point.
Yeah. See, I think my problem was since our school sent like Christina and like 2 other kids up there, so and they had all passed. So and everyone was like, "Well, if we pass, you'll pass." So everyone was like putting it in my head like, "It's easy, you'll be fine." And so I think I went in there a little cocky, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm about to squat. I'm about to put you in your place." Um, and I made the mistake of agreeing to let an observer watch from the back seat. So the instructor was talking to them
Yeah.
about like what I was doing wrong. So like I was even more aware that I was like not succeeding. So it I ended up crying. It was not good. Yeah. I mean, but again, that was 10 years ago. So it's probably different now. But it was definitely traumatizing. So the fact that I even have my permit now um, is a major triumph. So I don't know if I lost you. I think oh, we're back.
The things are just slowing down a little bit, so I'm like trying to catch up to the words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I don't think a lot of people realize just how much we go through just to do things normally, but at the same time, like people will walk up to you and go, "Oh, you're such an inspiration." And all you did that day was get out of bed and leave the house, and you're just kind of like, "What did I do?
Yeah.
How am I inspiring to you today?"
Well,
like, don't get me wrong.
Go ahead.
Don't get me wrong. It is inspiring to me that you started doing the videos to talk about your experience with cerebral palsy, but that is from a fellow person with cerebral palsy who also is very camera shy. So, like, this is a big step for me.
Well, thank you for. Because it was hard for me to.
I have been wanting to do something like this for a long time. So.
Well, what I think I'm going to do, because we have a lot of good material, we've been talking for quite a while. I think almost 2 hours. I think I'm going to see if I have enough editing skills to edit into like multiple installments. Um, but my editing skills are very minimal, so we'll see. Because we've covered a lot of like this has been like amazing. Like I'm so glad we did this because we've covered like so much. Um,
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like to come up with questions because it's like I don't think we would have got all of this.
Yeah.
You know?
I kind of like the free-form conversation. Free-form conversation kind of gets you into more instead of like, here's a script, here's what you have to go with, here's like where we go from there. And it's, I remember telling you when we were preparing for this, like, as long as I got to bring up South Park at some point, like, I was good with that because that was such a crucial thing to my childhood. Like, it's so stupid, and I realize that it is because the show itself is so stupid. But it was something that was so big to my childhood because I remember seeing those characters and going, "Yay, representation! Like, they're me. I relate to these," and just like watching them exist in the show. When they actually started doing episodes based on those characters or like revolving entirely around those characters, I was so happy. I was so happy.
That's awesome. No, I'm really glad that you did bring it up because like that wasn't my experience with disability just because I had so many others who had my disability. So like if that that's true to you and that's authentic. So I'm glad it was brought up.
Like I said before, I understand how people can get offended by the things the show does, but I think that's kind of part of the point because if you're not reacting in any sort of way, then because I have no doubt that their intention of bringing those characters in was not at all to go, hey, let's be representative of everybody, so much as it was, let's make fun of everything.
Right.
You know, that's what they do as comedians. But I mean, they kind of did both. Um, so for me, it was a really big thing. Um, I don't know, but like, I'm really happy that we ended up being able to do this because I was really excited about it. Um,
See, and seeing you get excited about it just like helps me continue to want to do it. I mean, I've never thought so far like I gotta stop, but it just makes me like, yeah, like we're doing good here. Like people are enjoying it and, are getting excited about it. So,
yeah, like I think for me though, it's like not just about sharing my own experience, but like getting to know yours, like what's the same and different about yours, as well as Christina, because she traveled abroad and I traveled abroad, and I'm so happy she had a better experience than I did. But like just seeing the differences, like it's interesting and it's important. And um, like I said, I had wanted to do something like this before, and I had attempted it. I did, but I failed miserably because I have made like 2 videos, and I was like, yeah, I can't get on camera anymore because this is scary.
yeah, it
But
was it was terrifying to actually film the first video and post it because it's just like I'm sitting here talking to myself through my phone. I was like,
yeah,
this is weird, but
yeah,
necessary. Like I was like, I'm just gonna do it. Like, and now we're 32 videos in and keep on going.
yeah, like yeah, and I did say that you inspired me,
No,
um, because I got um, I got this feeling that I needed to just like talk about.
I think I lost you for a second.
But
Oh, okay, you're back.
it's like,
It cut you off for a minute or a second there. Oh, I hear the bird.
yeah,
Okay, now I can hear you.
yeah, they're loud. Such is life.
Yeah, now you're okay.
But
You're back. I could hear you.
I
I could
started.
hear you, but the picture had froze a little bit. So,
Yay, yay,
but
internet problems.
yeah. So I
Um,
heard. It cut out completely with the you inspired me, and then it cut out. So I don't want to miss that.
okay, so you starting the My Disabled Experience inspired me to start my own kind of channel. It's not so much a channel; it's a page on Facebook, where I just kind of talk about things I believe in, and
I'm gonna
I'm
like it.
trying to um, evoke conversations, um, just based on what people think. I started with disability because it was fresh in my head over the weekend, so that was where I went with it.
What's your
I'm
page
probably gonna
called?
do another one that's it. Uh, I'm probably gonna tongue twister myself. It is Radio Static Rabbit Cat.
I'm gonna
Um,
go like it, and I'm gonna link.
so I
We'll
I'm
blow it
sorry. Say
up.
that again.
I'm gonna go like it when we're done, and
Oh,
we'll blow it up.
okay. All right. I appreciate that. I've got like 10 friends on there right now. I think like everybody that I invited because I was like, you might have a different view than I do on things, so
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
also
have to go
invited
like
two
it. But
sisters. And
oh,
like, I
yeah,
only have 2 videos on there so far. One of them was it's just the intro, and then another was like the actual conversation that I had with myself.
Hey, it is a start. You gotta start somewhere. You've already done the hard part about making video. You've made a video. That's the hard part.
Yeah. I think I do like the Facebook layout better. Just if you're doing live videos, because you can actually see if somebody's watching or not, so you're not just talking to yourself.
Yeah, like, hey, somebody's listening to what I'm saying.
Kudos to you, but
yeah, no, it's hard. And I called it my disabled experience because I wanted like to show like it's just my experience. Like everything I'm saying doesn't apply to everyone else. So, because I didn't want to be like, I speak for everyone with CP. So, I was trying to come up with a name that, was individual to me, as opposed to like, I'm speaking for everybody.
Yeah. The way I came up with the name for Radio Static Rabbit Cat was basically like radio static, like talk show kind of stuff. But static had a couple of definitions that I liked that I thought fit my purpose. I actually explained in detail why I named it what I named it on the page. But rabbit is older slang term in British. It's a British slang term for just talking, and that's what I'm doing.
Yes.
And cat, that's the slang term for a person, usually referred to a man, but I use it and I provide it. Of course I do, crazy cat lady. It fits.
No, I'm gonna go.
It just kind of went with what it went to, but yeah.
Yeah, I will link that down in the description of my video.
I will send it to you when we end this. Like, it actually is easier to do, but...
Okay, yeah.
I'm kind of excited. But
I'm glad. Well, yeah, I think I am going to let you go here just because I'm starting to get hungry and want to go eat something. But thank you for doing this.
I mean, we've kind of been talking for like hour-ish. So,
yeah,
we got a lot.
Like, that's what I had no expectations of how long we do this, what we talk about, and I want it to be as honest as possible. So, and we had really good conversation. I think I benefited from it. So,
I think,
but
I am probably gonna share this on that page too when you post it, just because.
Please.
For both of us, but. It's a good conversation, and it kind of brings in what I wanted to do with that page too. So,
all right,
I'm excited.
Good. I'm glad. Like, now, the more people that talk about it, you're joining the mission. You're joining the cause. So,